Hello, lovely, and welcome to this free training. I'm Yasmin Vorajee, and I always like to just say hello on camera before we move over to the actual training and I share my slides with you. So if we've met before, hi again. And if this is the first time that we've met, it's really lovely to meet you. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to head over to my slides and I will see you 1 second. Okay, here we go. That was easy, wasn't it? Okay, so let's get straight into the training. I am deeply respectful of your time, and so I want to make sure that the next little while is going to be as jam-packed and valuable to you, so that you can really get a clear idea of how you can take your zone of genius, the thing that you're really good at, and how to turn it into money in the bank. And so I'm going to be sharing with you my 3-step process that turns your message into an offer suite that sells itself, right? So I'm Yasmin Vorajee, I'm the creator of Tiny Time Big Results, and I am evangelical about messaging because it is the foundation of what you do in your business. How you talk about what you do is that gateway for you to be able to create the impact and the income that you want. And so I'm really excited to share this training with you because I know it's going to be really transformative. So I hope you have got a notepad, you've got your Google Docs ready, however you like to take your notes, and really just what I'd actually recommend you do is really absorb it all in, and take notes as as you see fit. But I just want you to really take to heart what I'm going to be sharing with you. Okay, so let's get straight into it. So you're very, very welcome. I always love delivering these trainings, and I'm going to try and give you as much as I possibly can. So first of all, I want to assure you that you're in the right place. If you're a solopreneur, right? You are a business owner, maybe you have like some team members that are like contracted, but mostly it's you by yourself, right? You've got skills, you've expertise, you've experiences that other people value, right? And your goal is to attract more clients without having to spend hours on social media, feeling like you're glued to your phone, or having to create new content constantly. I honestly do feel that we've got to that stage of complete content burnout, right? Where you're just like, oh my God, if I have to create another piece of content, I'm gonna absolutely flip my lid, right? And so you want to attract clients, but you don't want to do all of the things that everyone always tells you to do, right? And that always frustrates me because I'm going to tell you a little bit more about kind of where Tiny Time Big Results comes from, then you'll understand why my focus is always on like, how can I get the biggest bang for my buck without spending a lot of time doing stuff? Because the time for me is one thing that I don't have, and maybe you're similar to me. Maybe you have a young family, maybe you have other demands on your time, maybe you're in a full-time job, and this is a side hustle. Ultimately, what you want is you want to make sure that you are doing things that really get you the results that you want, and you're not just being busy for the sake of being busy, right? So you really want consistent lead growth. You want to make sure that you've always got a lead pipeline. You want to make sure that you're making sales and you're booking clients, right? So when I talk about sales, that can be of low ticket items, like maybe you have a masterclass or a workshop, or courses, but you also do one-on-one coaching. Maybe you have a group program. Ultimately, you want more leads, more sales, and more clients, and you want them consistently, right? And you don't want to be doom scrolling on social. Let's be honest, who hasn't done this, right? Um, you don't want to spend hours prospecting, commenting on posts in the hope that someone will see you and be bowled over. I think so much of what we've been taught in the online space around, find 10 people and comment on their posts. Like you're thinking, really? Really? Is that how it's going to work? Right? There are ways that we can do this that are so much more efficient, right? You don't want to be sending cold DMs. Like I remember doing a program once and that was their thing. Like, I'm going to show you how to get all these leads. And it was literally send 50 cold DMs every single day. And I was like, oh my God, kill me now. This is not what I started my business for, right? So I'm going to show you that you don't have to do that. And you don't want to feel like you're twiddling your thumbs, right? Waiting for people to come to you. Because that can be really frustrating as well, because you feel like, oh my God, like, what am I waiting for? How can I get out there? Then you feel like this drive to hustle, but then you're like, oh, I don't want to hustle, right? So it just feels like this real push and pull the whole time. ultimately you don't want to feel rudderless, like literally you're just kind of like, in the middle of the ocean and you're like, I don't know where I'm going, I don't know what's happening. So many solopreneurs, and I've been doing this work for a long time now, and I see this, and I saw in myself rather, that when you are just doing this day to day, as in you're literally just taking action day by day, and you're like throwing spaghetti at the wall, you get to a point where you kind of go, I can't keep doing this. I can't grow my business consistently. I can't get more clients if I just keep doing this. Literally just kind of going, what would I do today? I'll do this. It doesn't work. It's not going to be consistent for you. Ultimately, you want more clients, you want cash, and you want opportunities. And just like Kathy, one of my past clients, she came to me when she was like, I'm, losing money on these retreats. And, we worked together and we really put my teeth back in. We created a really solid, beautiful, elegant business model for her, where she had her retreats, but she increased the prices. So she was attracting a different kind of client. And this is her own story where she says, I've gone from earning 50 quid or losing money on her retreat to making £500 a time. She said after working with me, she's got a clear focus to her business. Her 2 retreat days sold out months in advance and at a higher price. She was also selling webinars for like £5. And I really encouraged her to think differently about her pricing. And surprise, surprise, with the £5 webinar, she didn't sell any spots. When she actually put the price up, she sold out, right? Sold 5 places on a new course for professionals. She has a lot more interest in the next one. She's got an outline for an online course, which will give her the ongoing income. Ultimately, she said, I've got strategies that work and a clear idea of what I need to focus on. And that is massive, because when you are a solopreneur, when it is just you in your business and you've got limited time, if you're like me, you've got 3 to 4 hours, you need to know what to do in the time that you actually do have. Because otherwise you could spend the 3 hours and then you go, oh, I didn't do anything that I actually needed to do. But when you've got strategies that work and you've got a focus, now this is where the momentum really builds. Okay. These are just some of the examples of other clients that I've worked with where I've helped them to really transfer their business model into a model that gives them freedom in their schedule. It gives them freedom in the way that they make money, so they don't feel like they're tied to their calendar. They don't feel like they're tied to working with lots and lots and lots of clients and feeling like there's no breathing room, right? And for me, it is very much around taking what you do and saying, right, let's turn that into money in the bank. Let's turn that into a really solid business model and a marketing strategy that gets you those clients. So it's an example of when I worked with Kate. She's a nutritionist, and we created an online program for her and got that sold so that she had some passive income, well, semi-passive. And I want you just to think about what is possible for you. If you're thinking, oh my God, this business is taking up all my energy, and I am like working really, really hard for not a lot of money, then you're in absolutely the right place, because this is exactly where I'm going to show you how to transform all of that. Okay. So you're probably thinking, okay, Yasmin, this sounds good, but who are you and why should I listen to you? So like I said, I'm Yasmin. I created Tiny Time Big Results over a decade ago now. I've been in business for 12 and a half years. And before my business, I was in corporate for 12 years. So I was vice president of leadership development. I have been in training, coaching, and mentoring for 24 years now. And when I started my business, I was clueless, absolutely clueless. I didn't have a clue about marketing. I didn't have a clue about selling. I knew how to work within a big business format. But my own business, being a solopreneur, not a clue. Which is why I get so evangelical about messaging now, because I can see how powerful it can be. So I started Tiny Time Big Results because my eldest was only a year old. We wanted to have more kids. And as I was kind of starting to build the business, I was getting really deeply frustrated that I only had 3 hours a day, which was when he was in childcare. And it got to the point where I was like, okay, you got to stop complaining and you got to start figuring out how you can make this work. And that's where Tiny Time Big Results came from, because I was like, okay, if I'm not going to have a lot of time because we wanted to have more kids, then how am I going to make it work? And that's where Tiny Time Big Results came into it. And everything I'm teaching you now is exactly what I've like, oh, I don't know, spent thousands and thousands and thousands of euros, dollars, and hours learning so that you can really have that beautiful business that where, you know what, you just get to do what you love and you get to work with really cool people and you get paid well. Like, isn't that the dream? Isn't that what we all want? Like, I'm not one of those people that's going to be like, oh, I want to go and get myself a Gucci bag or anything like that. That's just not me. But you know what I really value? I love my time. I love a free schedule. You know, they're the things that I really, really love. So fast forward to now, I wrote my book in 2018. It's a #1 bestseller. It also has won an award. I've got over 30,000 students worldwide who are learning the Tiny Time Big Results methodology. I'm the wife of an Irish farmer. I've got 3 young kids, and my top 3 values are love, freedom, and fun. And that's what I really want to that's what I've really been working on is infusing those values into my business so that, you know, if I think about the journey that I've been on, I've been growing my family or growing my business and raising my family at the same time. And so just imagine what's possible. If you've only got a few hours, but imagine what could be possible for you. Okay. So in today's training, I'm going to be sharing with you the secrets to standing out. So I'm going to talk to you about the key elements that make your message irresistible and how to avoid the pitfalls that really turn people off, right? You really need to know those ones. I get very, very passionate about this. Then we're going to be looking at how you transform your expertise into profit. So you'll discover how to turn your unique process into a signature system that forms the foundation of a highly profitable offer suite. This is central to my methodology because this is going to create so much abundance in your business with time and money. Okay. And then I'm going to help you to discover the power of a digital breadcrumb trail. I'm going to show you how to create a subtle yet powerful path that draws in ready to buy clients around the clock, right? So this system works when, works 24/7, so you don't have to. So they're the 3 things that we're going to be covering in this training. So let's go straight into it. So first of all, what makes you stand out, right? I want you to think about that. What makes you stand out? If you were in a lineup of, like, say you're a life coach, for example, and there's a lineup of people who are all life coaches, what's going to make you stand out? The truth is, in order to attract perfect fit clients, and I want you to really think about that person who is just like, oh my God, this is like the most amazing client. Imagine maybe you had a client that was just like the epitome of a dream client. I want you just to visualize that person, right? In order to attract those perfect fit clients, you have to be a match to them, right? It's all about frequency. It's all about vibrating at that same level, okay? So if you're always attracting people who don't see the value in what you do, who are not ready to invest, who are not happy to invest, then this is really crucial for you to understand, because in order to attract those clients who do value what you have, who are happy to invest, then you have to become a match to them, okay? Which means you have to get their attention, right? You have to get their attention. It is a noisy world out there for sure. So you have to get their attention. Messaging does that for you, right? This is really, really important. Messaging does that for you. And it's not just any old messaging. It's messaging that's magnetic, because when your messaging is magnetic, it is potent, it is powerful, it is compelling, it is irresistible, right? So let's look at the opposite side of that spectrum first of all. Like, what makes your message repellent? What turns people off, right? This is really important, because when I like I said, I've been doing this work for a long time, and when I do, when I work in my community, when I'm working with my clients, these are the things that come up all of the time, right? So the first thing I see is that your messaging is bland. Like, there's nothing that marks it out. It's nothing that makes it distinctive or like literally stand out. It just is bland, and it just blends in, right? So you've got a life coach and they say, I help you to have the best life possible. And you're like, okay, great. I've got 100 other people who say the same thing. And so you really don't want that. That's a kiss of death, right? It's like ice cream. Vanilla, whilst it's delicious, there's nothing really that marks it out, right? You got a bit of pistachio ice cream, mango, tutti frutti, cookies and cream, whatever. There's just something about that. And you know what I love about that? Like vanilla, it's a bit like magnolia, house baked. Everyone kind of goes, yeah, it's all right, right? Vanilla, yeah, it's nice, right? But when you put somebody in front of cookies and cream and they go, I love cookies and cream, right? What you're going to get is you're going to get people who are attracted to that. You don't want to be in like this massive sea of all the people going, vanilla, yeah, that's okay. Yeah, that's okay. No, no, no. You actually, when you think about a magnetic message, it magnetizes, but it also repels, right? And that's really, really important. You don't just want to be kind of like, yeah, okay, it's all right. No, you don't want that. Okay, so that's the first thing. It's either bland or bland and it blends in. The second thing that makes your message repellent is that it lacks specificity, right? You're just not being specific enough. I can help anyone get a job. Okay, great. The person who is looking for a job in tech is going to be like, this person hasn't got a clue because they've only ever worked with people who are looking for jobs in retail, right? When you lack specificity, you absolutely make yourself invisible to your perfect fit client. They can't find you in the sea of everybody else being generic and not specific at all. So your messaging has to be super specific so that you can really attract that perfect fit client. Okay. The third thing that makes your message repellent is when you're not outcome focused, right? You imagine your dream client, they wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and they're like, God, I really wish my child would sleep through the night, or that my child would eat broccoli, or I could lose these 5 pounds, right? What they're looking for, when you think about the way that algorithms work, when you think about how Google searches work, people are looking for a specific result, right? And when your messaging isn't outcome focused, again, it just gets lost in the crowd. It just becomes invisible. So when your messaging is not outcome focused, then that has a huge impact on your ability to reach those people. The fourth is inconsistent messaging, right? Okay, hands up. Who's guilty of that? I'm sure we all are. But this is really important to remember that when you show up, maybe on Monday, and then you don't show up for like 3 weeks, right? That inconsistent messaging means that it's really hard for people to trust you. And I'm a big, big believer in the power of trust. Like when someone, oh, hold on a second, let's just turn that off for a second. Don't you just hate it when that happens? So I'm a big believer in trust, right? When someone doesn't trust you, right, it's going to be very hard for them to actually take the next step and become a paying client, even pay you $17 or €17, right? But when you're showing up consistently and they go, I can trust this person shows up, they deliver, right? But when you're not consistent, it's not saying that, that you don't have anything valuable to say. It just means that that person is not going to be thinking about you. So, for example, if your client is looking to lose 5 pounds, and you haven't really been visible, they haven't seen you on social media, do you know what's going to happen is they're going to go to the person who they have seen putting out content that's useful to them, or whatever that looks like. Maybe it is on social media, maybe it's a podcast, right? But inconsistent messaging makes your messaging repellent because there's no continuity there. And you might be talking about one thing and then talk about something else. And so it feels inconsistent as well, that they're not really 100% sure of what it is that you're standing for. And then the fifth thing that makes your message repellent is that there's no digital breadcrumb trail, right? So I'm going to talk a lot more about this later in this training. But there's, somebody sees you on social media, or maybe you're a guest on a podcast or something, and there's nothing for them to then get their teeth into, right? So what you're doing is you're so focused on building your audience and getting more followers or more likes, but you're not paying enough attention to what happens once you've got their attention. And then they're like, what now? And you have no what now. There's no back end. There's nothing for them to get their teeth into, right? And that makes your message repellent, because what happens is that you grab their attention and then you lose it instantly. And now you're like, oh, this isn't working for me. So you're forever on this content treadmill trying to get more people in, but it's like you've got a leaky bucket, right? They come in, you're pouring, the tap is open, you're getting people in, but they're going straight back out again because you have no digital breadcrumb trail. So we'll be talking a little bit more about that shortly. So let's talk about what makes your message magnetic, okay? Here's what I want you to know, right? Your message is going to be so magnetic, so memorable, right? When you are super specific about the problem you solve, right? That's it. You've got to be really clear on what's the problem I'm solving? Because ultimately that's what business is all about, right? We solve problems, right? I teach my clients, coaches and experts, solopreneurs, people who are providing a service, I teach them how to get more clients with magnetic messaging, right? Because I know that the power of that messaging is incredible, right? So I'm very clear that most of the people who come and work with me really struggle with marketing and with selling, and they don't know how to talk about what they do in such a way that is compelling, that is irresistible. They don't have that back end. They don't have a digital breadcrumb trail. They don't have a system to get people into their world and nurture them and convert them, right? That's what people come to me for. I'm very clear on the problem myself. I'm very clear that my ideal client is someone who is maybe doing business very manually. Like every day they're posting content and they're like, oh my God, this is so exhausting, right? And what they really want is a system that's going to help them to, bring people in and then like literally nurture them and invite them to come and work with them, buy something. And they want all of that laid out. They want all of that built into a system so that they can then focus on the things that really move the needle in the business, like getting more people in, more leads, filling that lead pipeline, having those calls, the sales calls, whatever it might be, right? When you're super specific about the problem you solve, right, it makes you so visible. Remember when we were talking about what makes your messaging repellent, right? All of those things makes you invisible. But when you're super specific about the problem you solve, right now, your visibility just shoots up, right? It's massive. And when you've got clarity about who you solve this problem for, now this is just like adds fuel to the engine, right? Because you're so clear, right? You know exactly who you're going to work with, right? And you're talking to them. I talk about this like your level 10 client. This is the person, this is your dream client. This is your perfect fit. You're like, oh my God, I worked with Katie last year and she was like the epitome of the dream client and she was so much fun to work with. And we just gel together. And you have this vision of this person that was like amazing as a client and you had a great relationship and you think, I want more Katies, more Johns, whoever it might be. Right? When you've got clarity around the problem you solve and you're super specific about it and you know who you're trying to attract, like you want multiples of Katie or multiples of John or Sean or whoever, right? You are going to be so much more magnetic. You're going to stand out. You're going to be way more visible. You're not going to blend in. And people will be like, oh, that's exactly what I need help with. So now they want to come and work with you, right? You're not blending in. You're not a bit of vanilla. You're a bit tutti frutti, right? This makes your messaging really magnetic. This makes you magnetic, right? Because you've got that confidence and you've got that certainty within you. You're in alignment, you're in congruence. It makes a huge difference. So there's 5 things that I think, or 5 elements that really, really help to make your messaging incredibly compelling, incredibly irresistible, okay? So we think about all the things that you don't want to do. So all the things that kind of repel your ideal client. And remember, that's the person that you really want to attract is that ideal client. So these are all the things that you absolutely want to incorporate into your messaging so that they're like, yep, she's the one for me. I want to work with Yasmin. I want to work with John, whoever it might be, right? So the first thing is you have to be really clear on what the payoff is. Like, what's the result that they want to get? And what is, like, make it powerful, right? This is not where you're going to be timid, right? I see people so timid about what they're helping their people to do because they're afraid of making a big promise, right? But the problem is that that's you holding back, right? You're already badass. We know you are. I know you're amazing at what you do, but you're holding back because you're like, oh God, because you're taking too much responsibility. You're kind of thinking that you're going to show up and you have to do all of these things and your client has to automatically get results. But remember that your client also has to take action, okay? but you've got to get really clear on what is that powerful payoff. What is it that they're going to get as a result of working with you, right? The second thing is your messaging has to activate your audience. It's not just something that they kind of go, that's nice, and off they move on. It's got to be something that really within them, they're like, oh, I really want this. Oh, this is speaking to me. This is speaking to me at a soul level, at a heart level. It's speaking to my mind, but it's also speaking to me at a deep level. So your messaging has to be activating, and it can't be activating if you're not clear on who your level 10 client is. I see a lot of posts on social media, and I'm always kind of doing my own research around kind of like, what can I see that people are doing that doesn't actually help them? And it's when you're creating content that you hope will speak to everybody. And really and truly, I want you to stop doing that first of all, but I want you to think about what's going to make my client, my dream client, actually feel moved inside, right? That they feel like, oh my God, I need to go and find out more about this person. So they go on your website and they're like trying to binge consume everything that you're doing. Your content, your messaging, everything, how you show up, it's got to feel like it's going to activate them, right? And just your level 10, forget about everybody else. Thirdly, is you want to be thinking about content that actually creates cash, right? So every time you post, you're thinking, I wonder if this is going to lead to a discovery call or it's going to lead to a sale, whatever it might be. But you want to be thinking about content that's actually going to make you money. So I want you to think about, okay, well, what kind of content does that? Content that speaks to them, speaks to their specific problem, speaks to their specific desire. Right? These are the things that actually make you cash. There have been several instances in my business where I've put out a post and literally within like an hour or so, somebody would be like, I'd like some more information on that, please. Because what's happened is I've spoken very, very clearly to a particular pain point or a problem and the solution, the desired outcome, like, here's how we can do this together. And they're like, okay, sign me up, right? That's how you can make like 2K off one post. Right? I'm not saying that every single post is going to do that, because let's be honest, they don't, right? And anybody that tells you that, every time you post, you're going to make money, that's not true. Right? But the more you do this, the better you're going to get, right? So we want to be thinking about, okay, how do I create content that's going to actually result in cash, whether that is a direct, message, or whether they come and buy your low ticket, maybe you've got a masterclass or a workshop, or they book a discovery call, right? So that's what you want to be thinking about. Your messaging has to be thinking, you want your messaging to be kind of like, okay, how is this going to get them to take the next step, right? The fourth thing that you want to be really thinking about with your messaging is the persuasive pre-sell, right? When I talk about the offer suite that sells itself, this is what we're talking about, right? Because you want people to come to you like ready to buy. That's what most people want. That's what most business owners want, is people who are like, yeah, I'm ready to buy. I've seen enough, I've heard enough, and they're just like, I love your style, I love your energy, I want to work with you. And this is what's really important. It's the pre-sell, right? And like, honestly, a big part of Tiny Time Big Results is how you do this effectively with the time that you have. If I'm only working 3 to 4 hours a day, and the rest of the time I'm like at home doing stuff with the kids and cooking and all the other stuff, then I want to make sure that what I've created is actually getting people closer and closer. Some people, it'll be like instant, immediately. They're like, okay, sign me up. Other people might just take a little bit longer, and that's okay, right? People buy when they're ready to buy. I love this picture actually. When I was creating the slides, I was thinking of when like when a kid's trying to persuade their parents that we need to get a dog, and you think about all the ways that they try and have a conversation. I mean, like, if you've got kids yourself, that they're always there, like, going, well, they're always persuading you. And if you're a parent as well, or with anybody, we're always persuading other people to look at things from our perspective or to do things that we want to do, right? So we all do it, but I want you to think about how you can incorporate that more into your messaging, so you're really bringing in those perfect fit clients. And then the fifth element is energetic resonance. Like, honestly, like, all of the other stuff is like really, really important. Absolutely, 100%, right? But, and here's a big thing, right? All of the strategy is really, really powerful. But, and this is a really, really big but, right? It doesn't work unless you are energetically aligned to what you're offering, where you feel like, oh my God, like the certainty is just like oozing out of your pores, where you are so rock solid, rock star confident about what you do, and that your perfect fit client, it comes out of you. Like it's like this frequency that you are emitting, and they're just like, oh my God, I'm deeply attracted to that, right? It's deeply magnetic. And that happens when you are in full alignment with what you're doing. And there's no doubt, there's no wobbles. You love your pricing, you love how you're delivering your offers, and you are just so congruent, right? There's no part of your energy body that's feeling any dissonance, right? This is massive, right? And I don't think enough people take that into account. So when I'm working with my clients and they'll say, well, this is what I'm doing. And I'm like, are you 100% behind this? So when I think about all the things that I'm teaching you, like this is all my lived experience. These are all the things that I've done. So I'm rock solid in everything that I teach, right? And hopefully you get that. But when somebody might be saying, oh, well, I'm going to teach them how to do this. And I go, okay, are you rock solid in that? And they're like, not really. And sometimes that can come out as like imposter syndrome, where somebody says like, I'm not good enough. Now that's slightly different, but really not. Because okay, so I'll use a classic example for me, right? I'm a really awesome cook. I'm going to say that myself, right? I love cooking. I love food. I love cooking. I love menus. I love shopping for food. Anything about food, I love it, right? So if I was to teach you, how to make lasagna, butter chicken, lentils, oh God, I'm gonna like shepherd's pie, stroganoff, whatever it might be, right? I am rock solid in my ability to cook and to learn, teach other people, right? So there's no dissonance for me. There's no incongruence at all. Same as obviously what I'm teaching here. If you were like rock solid in your ability to help someone lose 10 pounds, right? And you were like, oh my God, I've done this so many times. Like I could do this stuff in my sleep. That's where you go. That's where you start. I see that a lot of business owners, what they do is they start offering things that they think that people want from them, but they're not 100% solid in it themselves. That causes the dissonance. So energetic resonance is actually a really important ingredient. So that's the stuff that makes you stand out. Now let's talk about what turns your expertise into profit. Okay. So the first step is you get super clear on the result that your dream client wants to create, right? That's ultimately what we're doing here is they have a result that they want to create, right? That's your job, is to get really, really clear on that, right? If you are not clear on that, then that's where the work has to be done, right? That's the first bit. Anytime anybody works with me, I'm always like, okay, tell me what it is that you do. And this is the bit that we work on. And we absolutely nail down where you are fully in alignment with it, you're congruent, there's no dissonance. So we want to get really, really clear, like what's the result that your dream client wants to create? This becomes the heart of the work that you do with your clients, right? This is all leading you to have a very simple but lucrative business model, a simple and lucrative offer suite, right? This becomes the heart of the work that you do with your clients, right? You become a master at this, and this is going to help you build incredible momentum in your business where you make the money and the impact that you really, really want, right? So this becomes the heart. To get really, really clear on the result that your dream client wants to create. This becomes the heart of the work you do. This is your trademark transformation. This is what I call it, right? It's what you become known for. So people are like, oh, this is what she does, right? I help you to get more clients with magnetic messaging, right? So you can create the impact and income you want whilst working 20 hours a week, right? I know how to do that. I've been doing this for such a long time now. I've written a whole book on it, right? So this is what I know how to do. This becomes your trademark transformation. When when like in the news, when a little ticker tape comes up at the bottom and they're like, who is this person, right? This is what you want to become known for. You kind of go like, oh, I'm known for helping women in their 50s lose 2 stone. I'm known for helping students who don't know how to cook 5 basic meals, right? I'm the person who teaches kids how to do handstands, something. Like I'm just using simple examples here. But this is your trademark transformation. It's what you become known for. The second step, so this is about how you turn your expertise into profits. You get really clear on that result. That's your trademark transformation. That's the result that you're creating. The second step is you map out the process that you use to get your client from A to B. Now, you might be thinking, I don't really have a process. You do. Absolutely. Everybody has a process. And it might just take a little bit of digging to figure out exactly what the process is. Or you might say, oh, well, I've got these 5 principles, but there is a specific process. And we really want to nail that down. It's a really important part of this process, right? Because you build your offer suite based on this process, based on how you get your clients from A to B. This is really, really important. And if you're thinking, oh, I'm not sure if mine does that, that's okay. Don't worry about it. We'll come to that shortly. Okay. So you map out the process. So you can think, okay, my dream client, when they come to me, they're at point A. I get them to point B. This is how I do it, right? So you build your offer suite. And then what you're doing is you move then from like, okay, I've created this. Now you enable your offers to sell themselves, right? So the step 3 is you build a digital breadcrumb trail to attract ready-to-buy clients 24/7 around the clock. What you're doing is you create digital assets that pre-sell your offers, and you use automation to deliver these assets so it frees up your time, scales your impact and your income. And this is what I call your automation A-team. I'm showing my age here, but if you remember from the 80s, the A-team, Hannibal and Murdoch and oh my God, what were they all called? Face and Mr. T, of course, right? But this is your automation A-team, right? This is where I get really, really excited because when you've got a really solid messaging, you've got a really powerful, simple but lucrative offer suite, right? And then you create these digital assets that help you to sell those offers, right? And once you've built them and all you have to do is add fuel to the system, right? But they sell for you. So you don't have to show up. Like if you're on holidays, if you're taking August off, or if you're taking, a longer time at Christmas, you've got a system that is actually working for you, right? So this is where we have, we've made you stand out. We've turned your expertise into an offer suite, and then we're using your automation A-team to help you to pre-sell and deliver on these offers, right? So this is an example of the work that I did with my client, Althea. So this is exactly the process that we did together. We made sure that her messaging was absolutely rock solid. We worked on her offer suite, and then we created digital assets and really put her into, I showed her magnetic messaging strategies, and I really showed her how she could position herself as the person of influence, like in her field, in her industry. So one of the things that I teach my clients is around, speaking, getting on virtual events, live events, podcasts, guest summits, that type of thing. And so what actually happened with Althea, we did all of the kind of like the back end work, and we really positioned herself. We gave her a very solid marketing strategy, right? And then she was able to secure an amazing interview with an influencer in her field who had a considerable YouTube audience. And so she did this interview, and this is what she sent me. I think it was like literally the next day after the interview. So she then wanted to share, since the interview, it's been amazing. 2 one-to-one clients booked and paid. Another one looks extremely likely today. 4 more consultations booked. Another 7 applications. 100 sign up to her lead magnet, her free guide. People were signing up for her webinar. People were coming into her free Facebook group. And one of the things that we had always talked about in our sessions was about standing in your power. Like when we talk about that energetic resonance, and we're like, yeah, you stand in your power. And she was like, I can't believe this. And this actually led to her first 10K month. And she'd never made that much money. And she was just like, I can't believe it. And she was like, I'm doing the work I absolutely love. I'm getting well paid. I'm helping people. And she was like, I'm just loving the money pouring in. Like it was just phenomenal result from the work that we did. So you're probably thinking, okay, so how do we do all of these things, right? So ultimately you want a system, right? You don't want that haphazardness of your business. You don't want to be sitting there thinking, I'll do today, right? You want that system to get clients and you want to do it predictably and reliably. Like who doesn't want that? You want to know that you've got a system that works, right? It's a bit like if, we think about your electrics in your house. You want to know that when you flick the switch, it works. You want to know that your sewage system works, that when you flush, it doesn't come, splashing back out into the house. So you want a client attraction system that gets you clients. And you know that you can rely on it, right? So this is my invitation to you. I'm so excited about this, right? So this is my invitation to you. I want to help you, and I want to, let me rephrase that, right? So let me show you how you can turn your expertise into an offer suite that sells itself with a magnetic messaging system, right? And it works 24/7, so you don't have to, right? So there's 4 stages to this process, right? And the first is clarity that magnetizes. So when we're talking about your messaging in terms of in terms of in terms of the problem you solve and who you do it for, right? You're going to craft compelling and irresistible messaging that speaks to your perfect fit client's head and heart, right? So that's the first stage of the work that we do together. So we're going to create messaging that really speaks to their heart and to their head. If you just have messaging that speaks to their head, then they're never going to be invested in buying with you. You want to really speak to their heart because you know that they've got desires, just like you've got a desire to have a business that's going to give you the freedom that you want, the money that you want. You have this desire, and it's so important that you speak to the desire of your ideal client. And I often talk about the business sweet spot, right? And we want to make sure that whatever it is that you're offering in your business absolutely hits the sweet spot for your business, right? So for me, what that means is that you are really good at something. Like, so whatever you're doing in your business, you're good at it. Like, I think that's a given, right? You're passionate about it. But being good at something and being passionate isn't enough, right? You also need to make sure that what you're offering is needed in the marketplace, right? And then the 4th element, is really important, is that those people have a willingness to pay to get that result, right? You could spend years doing a business where you're like, oh my God, nobody wants to pay for this. Nobody wants to pay for this, right? And the truth is that it's, and this is where people are going to go, oh, sod it, I'm just going to throw it all out. No, right? What you need to do is find an audience that is actually willing to pay. So this happened to one of my clients. She's a style coach. And when we first started working together, she had no business. So we really built her whole business. And, she was like, I want to work with mums in the style rut, mums at home. And I kind of had my doubts. I said, would they spend the money on themselves? And she was like, I think they would. I think they would. And I said, okay, go and do research, right? She came back to me and she said, nobody wants to pay. And I went, okay. And one of my suggestions had been women in business, women who are either self-employed or working within a bigger business. And she says, who does want to buy? Who does want my services? I said, oh, women in business by any chance? Right? She went, yeah, that's exactly who it is. So this is really important, right? You've got to find an audience that's going to be willing to pay. This is where, if you get into the middle of this here, that's your sweet spot, right? Because you're really good at something, you're passionate about it, it's needed in the marketplace, and people are willing to pay. Happy days. Hallelujah. The second step is where you create profit pathways, right? So you create ways for money to come to you, right? And either you'll create or you tweak. So whatever, if you've already got an existing offer suite, we'll look at that. But what we want is a simple and lucrative offer suite that creates healthy revenues and freedom in your schedule, right? This is really, really important, right? The third stage is where you become rock star confident, right? You're going to become unstoppable with the confidence and the skills to share your message and charge the prices you deserve. This is actually one of the most important elements of this program, right? In this program, I want you to absolutely have the most amazing message, have this amazing offer suite, but I want you to feel rock solid confident in what you're doing. So when you're going out there, you are standing in your power. You are absolutely showing up. You are sharing and you are selling from that place of service and from that place of like, what I'm offering is incredible. And you're charging the prices that you deserve. Now, I'm not going to be here saying like, okay, you're just going to charge if you're charging 500 for something and I go, yeah, you're going to charge 10,000 for it. No. What I want to do is make sure that your pricing is in alignment with you, right? Because funnily enough, if you charge too much, it won't sell. If you charge too little, it won't sell. So we've got to make sure we get that right pricing. But I want you to feel like, when we talked about the energetic resonance before, like you are fully resonant with what you are offering. And so there's no dissonance. There's no like kind of wobble or uncertainty, right? And then the fourth stage is command. So we've had we have clarity, so clarity, around what it is that you do. You've got the create profit pathways. We were talking about, rock solid confidence, and now you're going to command the room, because when you show up and you share your message, this is about getting the attention of your perfect fit client, not anybody else, but just those perfect fit clients. So I'm going to show you how to turn potential clients into paying clients with messaging strategies that play to your strengths and gifts. I am not that person that says, you do it this way, this way, this way, this way, because it worked for me, and so therefore it will work for you, right? You're different, I'm different. So I want to help you find the right messaging strategies that play to your strengths and gifts. That's super important, because you want this to be a sustainable system. You want this to be something that's going to feel like ease and flow to you, right? Not pushing yourself, into a square box when you're circle, right? It just doesn't work. So we're going to create or find those messaging strategies that really get people coming and working with you, but you love it. You absolutely love how you're sharing your message and how you're selling. So this is the work that we do in Multiply, my program. Okay, so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the program, and then we're going to wrap up. So I want to just share with you a couple of little insights that's going to really help you as you go out there and attract those clients. Okay, so when you do Multiplier, when you join Multiplier, here's what you're going to get as a result of working in the program or doing the program, right? So first of all, you're going to have a magnetic message based on what you do and who you do it for. I want to tell you something, right? When you've got this, I remember doing this work with a client, and she came back to me, and we'd spent like an hour doing this. And she says, that was worth 10 grand. Like, I'm not kidding you. Go and look on my website. I've got that testimonial. And she said, that has been worth everything. She'd been working in her business for a good few years. And she said, what we created in terms of clarity, in terms around her messaging, she says that was easily worth 10K. $10,000. And this is important. This is going to be like the basis, the foundation of your business and your future success, right? So you have a magnetic message based on what you do and who you do it for, a suite of offers that creates healthy revenues, and it's going to be a simple and lucrative offer suite, right? So we're not here for overcomplicating, overthinking, or anything like that. It's going to be a very simple offer suite based on your trademark transformation. We're going to show you how to build and grow your audience, the right audience, not just any old audience, not just likes and followers, but getting the right people into your audience. And you're going to create a system that gets you leads, sales, and clients 24/7, so around the clock, right? It's really important. So Multiplier was going to show you how to multiply your income and impact with a magnetic messaging system that makes it easier to get leads consistently, make sales regularly, and book ready to buy clients. You're going to be able to sell your offers 24/7 with more ease and create the impact that you're here for in just 3 to 4 hours a day. Because you're not just here to make money. You also want to impact the lives of your clients, the lives of their community. Like, this is a ripple effect stuff, so you want something that's going to help you to be able to create all of those things. But is Multiplier right for you? Okay, it's going to be right for you if you're a coach, you're an expert in your field, you share your knowledge, you share your expertise. Maybe you're an educator, you're a service provider, right? You're looking to upgrade your marketing to attract your dream clients. So what you're doing right now isn't enough. You're really looking for that upgrade. You've got some clients, but you want more. You want deeper clarity on your messaging. You want that like $1 million message where you're kind of like going, this is what I do. I'm in complete alignment with it, and I'm so excited to show up and share it, right? And you want an offer suite that's simple and lucrative for you to deliver, okay? It's going to give you that, it's going to give you obviously the income, but it also creates that freedom in your schedule. You want more automated income streams, right? So I don't really talk about passive income. I talk about automated income streams. You value your time and you want to learn from someone who knows how to do this step by step. This is one of my unique offerings, I suppose, is that I know how to do this stuff. I've been doing this for 12 and a half years now. I know how to do this step by step, and including the tech, right? And you are thinking, oh, you know what? I could probably spend years doing this, trying to figure it out by myself, but you actually value your time and you're thinking, imagine where I could be in the next 6 to 12 months when I work with somebody who knows how to do this, right? You want that sustainable selling system. It gives you consistency in income, and it's not feast or famine, because let's face it, nobody's got the energy for that and nobody's got the patience for that. And you know it's not a hands-off system. You know that it's not just going to be like, oh, it's all on autopilot and that's it, but it's mostly automated, right? I'm going to be honest with you. Like, if you're looking for that system that you just set up and then like off you go and you never touch it again, this is not the system. And actually there's no systems that do that, right? There's always going to be some tweaking, some refining, and you play with it, but it's mostly automated. Okay. So if you're like looking at all of those things going, yeah, I want all of those things, then let me tell you a little bit more about the program. So it includes 12 modules that teach you how to build the magnetic messaging system, so you attract those perfect fit clients consistently. Now, I'm all about tiny time, big results. So all the modules are delivered in bite-sized video and audio lessons, templates, PDFs, that type of thing, because I want to make sure that you've got everything that you need to really succeed and thrive. I'm going to show you how to create and sell high-ticket packages, so anything worth over 1K, online courses, group programs. I show you how to do all of these things step by step. So you don't need separate courses to do all of these things. I'm going to show you how to do it. And my preferred methodology is always rinse and repeat. Once you know how to do this once, you're going to be able to do it over and over again. I'm going to show you how to create, fill, and deliver engaging webinars. Build a trust funnel so you can sell evergreen, right? Without live launching. Like, hands up who hates live launching and who's like, oh my God, if I have to do another launch, I'm going to absolutely be so frustrated, right? Yeah, you don't have to do that. I'm going to show you how to sell evergreen and how you can craft your signature talk so that you can speak live on stage and virtually, so like podcast summits. My recent speaking engagement was with the Virgin Media Business Bootcamp in Croke Park in Dublin. I've spoken on many, many stages, but more for me, because the nature of where I live, I've done hundreds of podcasts, hundreds of guest summits. And this is a brilliant way for you to really expand your visibility and get more people into your world. Now, you may not know this about me, but I'm also a qualified hypnotherapist, and I'm fascinated with how our subconscious really helps us to get the results that we want to create. So in this program, you're also going to get 3 hypnotic activations that help you to rewire your brain for client attraction, receiving money, and being more visible. Like, really, really exciting stuff. And these are things that you can do on a daily basis. They are, again, bite-sized. But I don't want to just work on the strategy. I want to work on the energy with you as well. So what you get in Multiplier, right? You get the 12 module program. Here's the beauty of this program. There's 12 months of support, right? So you get that through a monthly coaching call. You also get 12 months of monthly deep dives, and these are focused on implementation. Because let's face it, there's tons of information out there. What I want to see you do is build, right? Implement. So you're going to get 12 months of support with monthly deep dives. So that means that we get 2 calls every month. One is a coaching call and one is a deep dive and where we're actually doing stuff. You'll get a private Telegram for students. And so this is where you can get daily access to me Monday to Friday. And you ask questions, you get the help that you need. So you don't have to wait for the call. You get me daily, and that's for 12 months. We also do 2 virtual retreats. So we do them through Zoom. They're typically like, say, 10 till 3. And so you get 2 of those in the program. Like I said, you get the 3 hypnotic activations. I also have 3 bonus workshops. I've also got 3 bonus courses for you. So Mesmerize, where you become a perfect match for your perfect fit client, my Profit with Programs course, and a Message That Sells course. So as you can imagine, there's a lot in there, but you have the spaciousness of a 12-month window to be able to achieve everything that you want. Just imagine where you could be in 6 to 12 months. Like, you can do a lot of this work very, very quickly. but I'm giving you that space to be able to really allow this work to unfold as well, right? Some people love to go fast. Some people just take a more moderate pace. So this is designed with you in mind, right? You can go as fast as you want, right? Because I'm here to support you. I want you to really think about this. Ultimately, when you think about a client, a potential client coming into your world, right? Becoming aware of you, right? What you're doing when you kind of like bring them in, you hook their attention, and then you're taking them there through this whole journey of where they find out more about you and they find out more about the work that you do and the results that you help people to create over the time, right? Ultimately, you're building a system to tell a story, right? That's what you're doing. You're telling people a story of who you are, how you help people, how you can help them, right? And it's a story that puts your dream client at the heart of it, right? And it really resonates for them and it really aligns. Yeah. This is really exciting because ultimately stories sell. And so what I want to do is I want to help you to take all of the incredible expertise that you have, the talents, the gifts, the skills, the experience, and I want to help you to really craft that into a story, into a system that's going to sell for you so you can multiply your income and impact, and you're working 3 to 4 hours a day. So for 12 months support, coaching, mentoring, and implementation, of course, all of the content, a total value of the program is €15,880. The investment is $3,997. But for a limited time offer, you can actually get into the program for just $2,997. That's pay in full. Now, if you wanted to pay in installments, that's absolutely fine as well. So you can pay 12 installments of $297, or you can do 6 installments of $555, or you can pay in full $2,997 and save $567. If you pay in full, you also get 3 60-minute one-on-ones with me. So it's private one-on-one sessions. The value of those is €999. So the QR code that's in front of you right now takes you to the enrollment page. And so if this is like a full body yes for you, and you're like, oh my God, Yasmin, you are talking my language. This is exactly what I need. I am ready for this. I want to create that magnetic messaging system. Show me how to do this. Then get your phone, open up your QR code scanner, and you can absolutely go and find that. Get into the enrollment page. I'll also post a link underneath this video as well. And just want to share with you a little story about Catherine, who was a property investor and educator. And when we started working together, she had ideas about creating automated income streams, but she really didn't get around to doing that. And so she started with me because she thought, I need accountability and someone to, like run her ideas with. So here's what she said. Within months of working with Yasmin, I filled a physical weekend course at my full ticket price, which was $1,800. I think she sold 10 spots. Created and sold my online course, which was $999, and also honed in on what work I like and what work I do not like. With the result, I am now fully focused on my favorite aspects of the business. The clarity has been worth its weight in gold. When you work alone, you have no one to sound out ideas on and clarify thoughts with. This has been brilliant. I would highly recommend working with Yasmin for anyone who wants to really focus and stop going around in circles, wasting time. And I think that's a really important piece. It's around the wasting time. Like you want to get this knowledge and you want to know how to do this from someone who knows how to do this, so who can literally say, do this next, do this next, do this next, rather than kind of trial and error. I mean, you can absolutely do this by yourself. It will just absolutely take you longer. This is also my one of my past clients, Victoria, and this is what she had to say about the multiplier program. So I'm hoping that the sound will work on this, because well, it's always let me just make sure, optimize the video clip. Okay, so I'm gonna press play on this, and so it just takes a couple of minutes.
Hi, my name is Victoria Salomon, and I'm thrilled to say that I've been working with Yasmin now for a few months. I have a health and wellbeing business, which I have been successfully running for years, face-to-face with my clients. However, I've wanted to take it online because I am building courses and also running online workshops. The nature of what I do is that it can be hard to communicate to people why what I do is different, and to get over to them why do they want to work with me and not someone else. Also the fact that I'm potentially in competition with osteos, physios, even the medical establishment in terms of what I offer and what it can do for people. Yasmin's trainings have just helped me be able to begin to get my messaging correct, rather than talking about what I do, more talking in the language of what someone is looking for. Her courses have also really helped me to look at how I'm doing webinars. So I'm running webinars now. I've created nurture sequences in terms of emails to people. I've learned how to do lead magnets. I mean, I am absolutely now engaging people online, but feeling confident about the funnel that I'm bringing them through. So it has just been a few months that I've been working with Yasmin. However, what I've achieved in that time has been absolutely incredible, and my email list is growing every day, and that's really exciting. And I'm feeling a lot more confident about what I'm doing online, and to be able to now bring people through a funnel, through a client journey, which then I can replicate for lots of different aspects of what I do. And it has taken time. I won't say that it hasn't taken time to learn all of this and begin to integrate it. And I'd say I'm still very much at the beginning of my online business journey. However, I've got all the tools and all the know-how, and more importantly, all of the support from Yasmin on a day-to-day basis, where she helps keep me on track. She helps me plan what I'm going to do each month with my content. She helps give me feedback on what I'm producing in terms of my messaging. She's helped go through webinars with me. Everything that I need to do, I've got my mentor, and when I need help, I can just please help me, Yasmin, now. And she does. So I just feel so confident. And the feedback that I've had from clients who've known me in terms of how much more professional my online business is looking to them, and also bringing in new people, it's just been great. And I am still very much at the beginning of what I hope is going to be years of having a very successful online courses to help with chronic pain relief management and other health challenges. And I've now got the process and the strategy of how to do it, and more importantly, the how to make it happen. So I'd thoroughly recommend any program with Yasmin. By the way, she's also helping me learn how to put a program together, but any program with Yasmin is going to be a great investment. So yeah, maybe I'll be meeting you on one of them. Okay, bye for now.
Okay, great. I hope you were able to hear that. Let me make sure that okay. So I hope you were able to hear that. If you weren't, then you can absolutely, I'll put the link underneath. And just gives you an idea as to what is possible. Like, I am not going to sit here and tell you that you're going to be able to do this overnight. It does take time, right? But you can go fast with this. And the beauty of that is you're going to have someone who is showing you. And if you're thinking like, oh, I'll do this and I'll give you my feedback. I will absolutely give you my feedback. I did this course once and paid a lot of money for this course. And I remember created this whole webinar and it didn't go as well as I would have liked it. Now, I had asked my mentor for feedback and everything. And when it didn't go as well as I'd hoped, she was like, well, I wouldn't have gone with that title. And I said, that feedback would have been really helpful to me before I actually set it all up. And she never said anything. And I am not that person, right? I will absolutely give you my feedback. Now, ultimately, it's your business. You get to decide what you're going to do in your business, right? But I want you to know that when you are really deliberate around your messaging, your offer, and then the path that you kind of craft for your perfect fit client, like all of these things, they don't have to take a long time, right? But the clarity is the bit that is going to make the biggest difference, right? Once you know how to do this, once you've built it, and this is what I have seen over and over again with my clients, so people who are no longer working with me, I can see them absolutely thriving because you know what we did? we built that solid foundation. And this is an insight I want you to really think about every time you're thinking about, you know, what you're working towards and whether you come and join me in Multiplier or not. Like if you're building a house, you know, you wouldn't start thinking about the curtains or the light fittings before you even laid the foundation. And what I really want to help you do with Multiplier is to show you how to build a solid foundation. So where you are like fully in resonance with it, you are fully in alignment, there's no dissonance. And then what is possible when you build from a solid foundation. So you've got beautiful walls. And then when you are, you know, it's mostly automated. And then you get to kind of have some fun with it. You get to play around, experiment. Like this is really what business is all about, right? Every strategy works, right? Every strategy works. What we want to do is find the strategy that's going to work for you, right? And I'm going to teach you a number of strategies, but you're going to see what is actually going to work for you with your strengths, your gifts, your talents. This is not a one size fits all, which is why you've got so much support in this program. And I would absolutely love to show you how to do this, right? With this program, I don't make any I don't quibble about, you know, the fact that it will take time, but just imagine what's possible for you to create in your business. If you're looking to have a business that gives you a really healthy income every single month, and you know how to do that reliably and predictably, right? This is going to help you to do this, right? The investment in this program is going to set you up so well so that you can absolutely scale your business. But I want to help you really get that solid foundation, right? Might not sound sexy, but honestly, this is the thing that gets you incredible results. So in this program, I'm going to show you how to turn your expertise into an offer suite that sells itself with a magnetic messaging system. If you use this QR code, it is normally 3,997 for a limited time. You'd save €1,000, and so it's 2,997. You've got your 12-month payment plan, and you've also got your 6-month payment plan. If you want to spread out the payments, that's absolutely fine. Please remember with the payment plans that you are agreeing to make the payments because this is an exchange, and we're going to have so much fun together. I absolutely know this is going to be incredible. So if this is the right thing for you, then I would absolutely to welcome you into Multiplier. So if you want to speak with me first, if you're like, oh, pretty much convinced that this is what I want to do, but you want to speak with me first, then absolutely. You can either send me a DM on Instagram at Yasmin Vorajee, or you can book a discovery call. And you can use the QR code here to book your discovery call, or you can just go to www.bit.ly/talk-to-Yasmin. All of these links and things will be below this video so that you can absolutely get access to that as well. And if you need the links, if you haven't got the links for whatever reason, then absolutely you can just get in touch with me. All right, so that is From Message to Market. This was your free training on the 3-step process that turns your message into an offer suite that sells itself. I hope you're excited about what is possible for you. When we think about the 3-step process and we talk about, you know, really getting you to stand out, turning that expertise into a profitable offer system, and then using your automation A-team, how we can get that suite to sell itself, and it works 24/7, so you don't have to. I would love to welcome you into Multiplier if this is the right thing for you. If you feel like, yeah, you know, this feels like a full body yes, because really and truly, I want you to be a full body yes. I can't wait to do this work with you. And if this is not right for you at this point in time, that's okay too. I hope this training has been useful to you and valuable to you. You've got a ton of ideas, and I can't wait to see what happens next. All right, my love, that's it for today. Take care, and we will talk soon.